Welcome to Hard Mode and Hardware, and welcome back to the adventures of the three Dungeoneers, and we are heading into Scarlet Monastery. But today we're going to do something slightly different. Doug, as you know, is a disc priest at the moment, and he found that when we did Scarlet Halls that it was starting to get a bit tricky. So we're going to run this twice today, and Doug is going to give us a blow-by-blow analysis of the boss fights and how he's getting on with disc during the boss fights, a healing mic. And then we're going to go through again as Holy and see how he gets on, and we're going to compare and contrast and see which one he finds the most interesting. And you might find it a bit interesting to find out, you know, to learn which one is the more fun spec to play. I mean, we know which one's going to heal better, but which one's more interesting. So, without further rambling on, let's head in. So, Doug's running it as disc for this run, and he's going to talk us through the boss fights, because I think the trash fights is probably still okay.
Yeah, we'll see. I think what we were talking about the other evening was, what I was a little bit worried about is the whole point of a disc priest is to heal through damage. And on a couple of the boss fights in the previous dungeon, Mike was taking so much damage that I couldn't do any DPS. And I don't actually have any straight up heals. The closest thing I've got is called Shadow Mend. And while that is a quick heal, unfortunately it's double-edged sword because I heal him, but then he takes half of that heal in damage over time. So the more I heal him with it, the higher the damage he takes. So you kind of get stuck in a little bit of a vicious cycle. And we are hard mode and hardware, but hard turns into not only impossible, but it defies the purpose of why I chose a disc priest. The whole point was to heal Mike through damage. If I'm not doing damage because I can't heal enough through the damage, then it completely and utterly takes away the point of the reason I picked disc priest. So we'll do it as disc. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. Don't mind hard, but if it's going to become, I'll be honest, not fun for me, then I will switch to Holy.
Quite right as well. The whole point is to have fun, and we like you said, the channel is hard mode and hardware, and we like to play things on hard mode around here, but we don't like to play things on impossible mode. And if it gets to the point where it's literally impossible, then there's literally no point carrying on. So that's why we're going to run this one today, quite early on in our careers in the dungeon list, to see how we get on. I mean, it could be that down the line, as you progress through your talents and your spells, that disc becomes more and more viable. But as it stands, with Mike's abilities and your abilities, it's not gelling well.
Indeed, and I think that these set of dungeons here, and I'm actually thinking about these. I'm thinking about Diamond, the last one, where you actually go and take out the final boss. There's a like an alleyway where you walk through, and there are ogres on each side, and there's a big captain at the end, and he hits like a truck. And not only that, but the biggest watershed, if you're a healer healing through these dungeons, is Strap. Strap living side. You get to the bottom of the first pathway, and there's just mobs everywhere, and if you can't heal it, then you're not going to heal anything past it. So I think this is a good time to kind of take stock if I need to, but we will try and stay disc if we possibly can.
Quite. So let's kick this off and let Mike start pulling this trash. And we'll see, and then we'll get to the first boss and see how that goes. So. Grats. Oh, Mike, you've gone very quiet again. Technical issues. What have you done to your mic, Mike?
I don't have a target.
Is that better?
Much better, yes. Stop turning it down. God damn it.
Oh, because I activated audio Audacity, it lowered the microphone and vent for somebody.
How very dare it.
We really
So,
don't
I've
want to
just
play
closed all
mic
that.
on hard mode, do you?
Play it on hard mode. No mic. I like it. I mean microphone, not Michael. Yeah. Mysterious grimoire.
Do you want the boss or the side packs of ghosts?
Take the boss if they come. We'll see how it goes.
Right, so first boss, Thalnos, the Soul Render. Let's see how we go with the healing on this one.
My endless agony shall be yours as well. No rest for the angry dead.
Oh, and trees are full. My mouse has stopped working again. Thanks, mouse.
Is it Corsair?
Seek out of the
No,
Mate,
it's
seriously, if you keep making that joke, Mike.
it's Logitech. It's a lovely mouse, and don't get me wrong, I do love this mouse, but for some reason the internal storage is just messing around with my setup at the moment. So I don't know. I've checked for a firmware update, but
claim a body.
how you getting on, Doug? How's it looking?
Vengeance.
It's fine at the moment, boss. I think it's when Mike gets surrounded
Yeah.
by many, like he's about to be now.
The end at last.
Ornate weapon. Ooh, this item begins a quest as well. That's 2 quests I've got out of this.
Oh, that's the Dark Moon Fair thing.
Oh, cool. Blade of the... I've just picked that up. Blade of the Anointed. There we go.
Can we kill these ghosts? Because apparently they drop a blue item that
Yeah. Do it. Just while I fix my mouse. Clickety click. Clickety clickety clack. And we're back. Clickety clack. We are back.
Wasn't that off the old microchip advert? Clickety clack.
No, that was quickety quick microchips. Other microwave potato products are available.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't turn in the quest. Did it? There's a quest marker. Oh, is it downstairs?
Yeah, I saw that, but I think it must be downstairs somewhere. I can't see it. Oh.
It's in the fountain.
It's in the fountain.
Best place to be today.
Yeah, I find that. I'd like to be in a fountain because currently I'm melting my face off. It's warm in the UK today. We don't do warm well in this country.
We don't really do any weather well.
So much so that the rails in this country can't hack the heat, and they could actually buckle because they're made out of fairly cheap steel by comparison. So a lot of trains haven't been running today. Great. Little topical news item for you there.
We could start on Boris Johnson if you want.
Dangerous ground, because I won't stop.
Haha. Do you know, besides that, I had a chat with Paul about it because he can be a little bit on political side. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I'll bring them into this.
Yeah.
But the one person you can't ever talk to is my dad because he gets so upset so quickly.
Next.
Sorry, get out there, Mike. I need to see it. Don't put them on at a time. Get your ass out there and we'll see it.
No, it's because they're casters.
Alright.
The whole point of hard mode is getting stuck.
I'm saving that when I pull the entire cathedral.
Laughing, yeah. Great.
The day we were right.
Saving that for pulling all the eggs in UBRS.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going hard mode. Ish. Medium mode. Speaking of which, I really need to get back onto some hard mode actual games. I'm waiting for the Master Chief Collection to come out because Halo's been one game I've always loved on hard mode. I've always played it on legendary, so I'm going to be hitting that when it turns up.
More importantly, have you put anybody on Mars?
No, that's also on the schedule. The poor people of Earth coming to become the poor people of Mars. Got this horrible feeling I'm going to land them. They're going to settle themselves down in the old base in the dome, and then the first meteorite's going to strike the dome and wipe them out in one go. That's my style. That is exactly my style.
Okay, so Mike is now taking a fair bit of chunk damage.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is where my problem, because I can't DPS now to keep.
You're throwing that is it Shadow Heal out and to keep him up, but it's also
rubbish.
taking him down at the same time.
I've got Desperate Prayer, and it's a Hail Mary heal, but it's got such a long cooldown. And I do have Penance, but that's on a cooldown. I know I can talent it, but when I talent it, it loses a charge, so it's kind of.
Gotta say when it works just right, my AOE is fantastic. And Demonology. A treatise on strategy. Bugger it. I think I know what's going wrong here with my mouse. I think I'm accidentally hitting the G shift key, and it's doing something funny with it. Yeah, that's what's happening. I need to fix the mouse again. Right, bear with a second before we pull another one. I'm going to unassign it, see if that's what's see if I can save it. Right, I'm back.
Don't forget the quest in the fountain.
Yeah. Excuse me. 7,500 XP points. 7.5. What, next week? Million years.
Christ, there you are.
Don't they, Jeff?
What was that?
Yeah, check your log, mate. I don't know. I just know you're getting your asses handed to you.
Here is your ass. Would you like it sliced or burnt?
Still, I'm glad he's covered his hairy chest up. That's made my.
It was driving the mobs wild. That's why he's taking so much damage. All of them, every mob, driven mad at the sight of his hairy man boobies.
It's just that fire damage to do. It's ridiculous. Can't block it or anything.
I'm worried about this boss because that's all he does. Chuck fire.
Do you want to get the other three on the other side of him?
No, I don't know if he. I'm not sure he calls them, so you can bring the boss over. If they come, if they, they come, they come. If not, then.
Because you just have fire things and move out.
Do the Ghostbusters tactic. Get her. Get her. That was the big plan, eh, Ray? Get her. Oh, sucks to be me. Move out of this when I've cast this spell. Pipes. That were one. To think with a 4-second cast, like, do I abandon this spell to get out of the fire? Do I just let Doug heal me?
Hey.
Oh, I've done it again.
Oh.
So how's it looking?
Bosses are fine. It's the packs of mobs that are the problem.
Right, okay. Pack it in.
Piece of iron.
It's as we said before, though. If Mike was a pally or warrior, I could literally go and have a shower now.
Yeah, because he'd have
taken any damage.
He'd have specific mitigation abilities.
I'll pull them out here, actually. Somewhere out.
Gotta love a monk getting tanked up before every fight. And sometimes during. I've developed a cough today and I'm not happy about it, I'll be honest. I'm allergic to fine weather, that's what it is.
To think you've come so far, only to perish here. I'll honor you with clean deaths.
What, is he gonna hose us down before he kills us? I honor you with clean deaths. Hey, here we go. That was an exciting fight.
Do we need to clear the sides? I can't remember.
Yeah, you do. If you don't, they come for you.
Whoa. Time for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his quality. I don't know why I said that.
Oh, here's an boss.
Do you remember when there was a zombie in here? Oh, he's still there. He's just very dead now.
Ready for the boss?
Mais oui, petit point.
My legend begins now! But my legend...
You shall pay for this treachery.
How very dare she? How very dare she?
Arise, my champion.
Mograine.
Boom. Nice. And I got zip. Zippity doo dah. I move away from the mic to cough. I can't even say the words. So, how was that fight?
Yeah, it was alright. Bosses aren't a problem. It's never the boss. It's
Oh, I thought it was the boss
trash.
causing issues.
No, I think that if it's just one boss, I'm only having to worry about one mob. So if I put a shield on Mike, that gives him atonement. I then whack on Shadow Word Pain, which is healing him periodically anyway, and then I can just smite. And I can smite is pretty much off cooldown. It just keeps going, so I can keep him up. With multiple mobs, I can Shadow Word Pain each and every mob, but by the time I've put that dot on them, he's at half health because they've gone through the barrier, and then all I've got is smite, which isn't enough to keep him up because he's been hit by more than one mob. Now, even though the boss hit harder, I only need a shield or a penance or even a Shadow Word Men to get him back where I need him. Whereas with 8, 6, 5 mobs, he's been hit 5 times, so it's burning through the shield, and the damage I'm doing isn't enough to replace that.
Right.
So the truth is, I don't need to run this again on with Holy because I now know that it's the trash. So Hard Mode and Hardware says we should find a way around that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are the options? The options are Mike's tank's gonna pick up some abilities that are gonna help him mitigate damage better. I don't know. The monk will have to. Mike would have to tell us that. I don't know, monk or you, because you both played monks. Me burning down mobs quicker, so I'm going to investigate some AoE and see which is the best spec for AoE. I still think Demonology is probably the one to be using at the moment, and that's the 2 options I can think of. Why am I walking while you 2 are riding?
It's fine. I feel better now. I know what it is. Because I knew that the mobs in here, and Mike said himself that some of those were hitting him really hard. So it's fine. We'll deal with it. We'll LOS pool. We are, and actually, it's probably worth mentioning that Blizzard has said many times that characters are not weighted for anything that isn't 120. So
Yeah.
I don't care about these dungeons at all. I do not have the tools at the moment to deal with multiple attackers, but that will come. So we're gonna hard mode it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna use C&C. For people who don't know what that means, is we're gonna stun mobs. We're gonna we'll find a way around it, because I don't want to go Holy. As I say, I enjoyed that. Because even though at one point it was hard, Mike then started LOS pulling, and he started backing off the mobs, meaning that everything was in front of him rather than around him. So we were already starting to find our way around.
I mean, if that's the case, if it's just going to be a case of more of that, then that's basically going back to old school style of tanking, where you do actually have to control the dungeon, and you can't just speed through as quick as you want. Which I like actually. I'll be honest. If this was 5 players, I know we wouldn't have a problem. Mike could go as exactly as quick as he wanted, and we'd be able to keep up. Because even with Disc Priest, the extra DPS would mean that the mobs were dying so quick they wouldn't get a chance to do enough damage on him.
And I think Mike would be the first to admit that he can be a little bit gung-ho.
Yeah.
And I think he's having to rein it in so he doesn't end up a bloody corpse on the floor.
Because he's done he's done a lot of tanking in the new World of Warcraft. The new World of Warcraft, see what I did there? Where speed is key, and you can get away with just speeding through. And that's the way it's played these days. However, we're doing it 3-man, and it's scaling to us, so it's not going to get easier as we get higher level. We can't go back and do the low level dungeons and expect them to be easy, because they're going to scale with us as it is up until a point. So it's going to stay hard mode, which I kind of like, because that's the whole channel ethos. As long as it's not going to get impossible. As long as
I get a decent talent in a minute, actually. Sorry to butt in. I get a Holy Nova, which means if there are 6 mobs, I can literally stand in the middle of those mobs, use Holy Nova. It grants atonement to you, it would grant atonement to Mike, and the damage I do from it is going to heal you as I'm AoEing, which is very exciting.
Also at level 40 I'll get Breath of Fire, which causes every mob to do 5% reduced damage to me.
So I think maybe I've been a little bit premature with my worry. However, the last dungeon was stressing me out slightly because even the bosses were difficult. But I don't know that apart from a couple of multiple mob fights, that was okay. And as I say, at one point Mike was like, crap, I'm getting my ass kicked here. That's when it's going to fall down because I don't have the toolkit to straight heal anyone. Unfortunately, I haven't got that capability.
I'm going to investigate my talents because my first row of talents are essentially AoE related. And I'm wondering whether I've gone with the right one. I will investigate this because the one will be better than the others, but I need to work out the numbers on those. I'm sure somebody has sat down and worked out which is going to do the most damage. So currently I've got Dreadlash. When your Dreadstalkers charge into battle, their Dread Bite attack now hits all targets within 8 yards and deals 25% more damage, which is good because that's two Dreadstalkers hitting everything within 8 yards and doing a quarter more damage. Demonic Strength. Infuse your Felguard with Demonic Strength and command it to charge your target and unleash a Fellstorm that will deal 400% increased damage. So that'd be interesting. However, the Felguard already does Fellstorm, it's just not at that level of damage. So you could have the Dread Stalkers and the Felguard doing the damage at the same time. Or Bile Scourge Bombers. Tear open a portal to the nether above the target location from which several Bile Scourge will pour out of and crash into the ground over 6 seconds, dealing 45 shadow damage to all enemies within 8 yards. So I'm going to investigate those 3 talents and see which one is the best.
Yeah, I'm going to have a read up actually. I might even watch a few YouTube videos on Disc Priest single healing. They're not designed to be tank healers, but we don't want to do it easily. No. And actually, one other thing, is it possibly worth, at some point in the next 15 levels, turning War Mode on?
Yeah, what was
for the extra skills?
Yeah, what was the reason we didn't turn War Mode on? I can't remember.
I don't think we talked about it actually. Is it God's honest truth? We didn't talk about it at all. I'm just thinking, if we get ganked, we get ganked. That's just part of the World of Warcraft. But I know some of the talents are incredibly handy in the AoE situation.
The talents wouldn't work in dungeons though, unfortunately. They only work in Battleground.
Okay, that's that then.
But
the only bonus we'd get would be the EXP.
True. Yeah. That is why we didn't turn it on.
Because it's scale.
Yeah.
We'll just edit that bit out.
No, we'll leave that bit in. Everyone will be watching this and going, they left that bit in. They said they were editing out, but they left it in. That happens all the time. Anyway, so that was Scarlet Monastery. We've had an epiphany, or more Doug's had an epiphany, that actually we are going to have to play this like Classic WoW. No, I don't mean Classic WoW, the new Classic WoW. I mean the old school vanilla WoW, where every dungeon had to be carefully controlled rather than just conveyor belt speedrun. So that's good because we are hard mode and hardware here, and we like it hard. As long as, and I didn't mean it like that, but we like to do things on hard mode, which is what this is, which is good because it's more interesting. I think it's more interesting to watch. Anyway, so there we go. So going to stick with Disc Priest. We're not going to run it a second time because there's no need. Doug is happy with what he's seen. He's happy with the way that one played out. We're going to roll on to the next dungeon, which is what? I can't remember.
Nothing in my list, so
it is
Razorfang Crawl, is it?
Nothing until we level up some more.
Well, we might go off and level up before the next video. I can't remember what the next one is.
I'll tell you what we could do. If you fancy it, for the next video, why don't we go and do a battleground?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. You heard it here first. Next video, we're going to do a battleground. We're going to see how much we can level up out of that and see if we can knock the next dungeon onto the list because we've hit the top of the dungeons, which is interesting because we are only leveling in dungeons as it goes. So yeah, we'll do that. Next video, for a break, for a change, we're going to do a battleground instead. So there you go. So, and then after that, we'll continue with the dungeons because this is turning into good fun, I think. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let us know how you're getting on with Warcraft at the moment. Tell us if you're going into WoW Classic or if you're going to stick with the current game with all the expansions. Let us know if you're a Disc Priest and if you heal in dungeons and how you get on. Or if you're a Warlock and which talents you think are best at this low level. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you let us know that we've done a good job and you've enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe, and when you subscribe, give that bell a ring, because it means you'll get a notification and an email every time I release a video, and then you won't miss any of this content that I'm producing. I'm pouring all sorts of love into to produce for you guys. So yeah, other than that, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Doug.
Good night.
It's goodbye from Mike.
Good night, rather. I was going to say good evening then.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And
It's the two
if I
one.
don't see you, yeah. And other than that, don't forget to play it on hard mode.